Hi, Stella. Also, Stella, I just sent you my avatar checking your server. Yeah, it is quiet in here. Yup. I like it. Giving this a 10 out of 10. Anytime, pal. I gotta tell you something. What is your favorite Super Mario Bros. Character? My favorite character is Yoshi! You know, Yoshi, the green dinosaur. I love him. I like this character a lot. Let me find the picture of Yoshi. Here's Yoshi. Thanks, pal. Oh, hey, Assad.
Okay guys, so in this video I'm going to be doing a My Balloon Possibilities for the 2026 Macy's Parade. I've seen a lot of people making these videos like these, so I decided to make my own. So this is just my guess and my opinions on which characters that I think should be in the parade or not. So let's get started. So starting off, we're going to my most likely choices, and it's these two: a brand new Snoopy and a brand new SpongeBob balloon. Snoopy is definitely going to get a new version this year. I can tell for the 100 parade. And if we do get a new Snoopy, he's obviously going to be the first balloon again and accompany a new Peanuts float. For SpongeBob, SpongeBob is definitely going to get a new version. I'm just hoping this could be the year where we finally get a new version of SpongeBob, but hopefully he'll be joined by Patrick this time. Since the SpongeBob and Gary balloon is starting to get old, I think a new SpongeBob balloon would be a nice fit. Now we're going to my likely choices / likely choices that I'm doubting, and I have a couple of characters on this list. First up on this list is Garfield. Garfield is most likely a character that has been a balloon in the parade. He had like two versions back in 1984 to 1999. Garfield came back in 2003 and to 2006. Garfield had a movie back in 2024, and many people thought that Garfield was going to come back in the parade in 2024 since he was sponsored by Nickelodeon. But I'm just doubting if Garfield does come back in the 100 Macy's parade. Other than that, I don't know Garfield's going to be back in the parade. I'm just doubting it. Next up is Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic has been in the parade before, back in 1993 with his first version to 1997, his second version 2011 to 2013. Sonic came back in 2021 for his 30th anniversary. If Sonic does come back, I'm hoping they use this version, Movie Sonic, this time, since for his 35th anniversary he has been promoting a lot of games, and the fourth movie is coming out next year. I think Sonic is definitely going to come back in this year's Macy's Parade. I would love to see a new Sonic balloon happen. Sonic is definitely a character that I definitely would love to see back in the 100 Macy's Parade, since he is the first video game character in the parade after all. I would love to see him come back in this year's parade. Next up is a new Pikachu balloon. I think we're definitely going to get a new Pokemon balloon this year for Pokemon's 30th anniversary. And a new Pikachu balloon will be a nice design, having Pikachu wearing Ash Ketchup's hat and holding a Pokeball. I have a feeling that the Pikachu and Eevee balloon is going to retire, and we're going to get a new Pokemon balloon this year. If that happens, then I wouldn't mind it, but if it doesn't happen, then I will understand. I think most likely a new Pikachu balloon would be a good choice for this year's Macy's Parade. Next up is Hello Kitty, which I'm also doubting if Hello Kitty comes back in the parade, since she has been in the parade before, 2007 to 2011, 2012, and 2017 with a second version. Many people really miss Hello Kitty being in the parade, which I can understand that. I think Hello Kitty could come back someday if it does happen. Honestly, Hello Kitty would have been better if as a float, since Hello Kitty has been in the balloon multiple times. So I think they should do a float instead. Next up is Sophia from Sophia the First, which I don't know. I'm kind of doubting if Sophia does come back, since her show was super popular back in the early 2010s with little girls. And even though the show was so popular, it never participated in the parade. Not even other shows from the channel like Disney, like Jake and the Neverland Pirates, Doc McStuffins, Harry Huggle Monster, and those shows were also popular with little kids, and they never participated in the parade. But since Disney has been sponsoring the reboot show a lot, if the reboot show does good, then I could see Sophia come back. I could see Sophia come in the Macy's Parade, but I would say just have Sophia as a float instead of a giant balloon, because we already have Spider-Man, Buzz Lightyear, and Minnie Mouse as balloons in the parade. So yeah, I could definitely see Sophia as a float instead of a giant balloon here. Next up is Lightning McQueen from Cars. Cars is another Disney Pixar movie that never participated in the parade. Disney Pixar's A Bug's Life and Toy Story are the only Pixar movies that participate in the parade. But with this year marking Cars' 20th anniversary and possibly a fourth movie coming out, I would love to see Lightning McQueen as a balloon in the parade. They could do something based off of Thomas the Tank Engine. I would love to see Lightning McQueen make his parade debut in this year's parade. Next up is Barbie. Many people are really confused. How's Barbie gonna do as a balloon in the parade? But many people will say like they would rather see Barbie as a float, but as a balloon, I think they could try something like that, since Barbie is so popular with kids and adults, especially with the Barbie movie being so popular back in 3 years ago. But Barbie's a high choice that if she does make an appearance in this year's parade. If it does happen as a balloon, then I would genuinely be shocked if it does happen as a balloon. Alright, so next up is Gumball and Darwin from The Amazing World of Gumball, which it's been a while that Cartoon Network has participating in the Macy's Parade, and Gumball is the only show that is saving Cartoon Network from its downfall it's been. But with Gumball promoting 2 shows, I think it's a high chance that Gumball will be in the Macy's Parade this year. I would really would love to see a Gumball and Darwin balloon be in the parade. If it does happen, if Cartoon Network is interested or not. If it does happen, then this will be the first time since the. Other than that, I think Gumball and Darwin will definitely be in the parade for sure. Honestly, I would love to see a giant balloon of Gumball and Darwin. If that doesn't happen, then they can do this next cartoon show. Another Cartoon Network show that hasn't been in the parade, and that is Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup from the Powerpuff Girls. I'm also down that the Powerpuff Girls will also be in the parade this year. If it does happen, then I will generally be shocked, since the Powerpuff Girls was another show that is so popular and never participating in the parade, and also to promote the Powerpuff Girls 30th anniversary, which will be happening in 2028. And it's also a way to pay tribute to Tom Kane, who sadly passed away. If it does happen, I will generally be so happy if the Powerpuff Girls does participate in the parade. Like, I could see them not as giant balloons. They could be like featured balloons instead. Next up on this list is Batman. And Batman is the only superhero character that has not had a balloon in the parade. Like, the only superhero balloons that we had was Superman and Spider-Man. Batman is most likely a character that I would definitely want to see in the parade by far. I think it's time for a Batman balloon to happen this year, since Batman has not been in the parade for like ever. And I think it's time for DC Comics to add more superheroes from their company as balloons in the parade. Next up is Phineas and Ferb, which I'm doubting Phineas and Ferb could possibly be in the parade this year. Last year, since the show came back with the 5th season, I expected Planet the Platypus to make a parade appearance, but it didn't happen. So I think this could be this year where we finally get Phineas and Ferb as balloons in the parade this year. And for Planet the Platypus, they can do something based off of Shrek's onion carriage where Pinocchio was hiding. So Planet the Platypus could be hiding behind the boys while they're not looking. I would love to see a Phineas and Ferb balloon. If the show does really good, then they could promote that and promoting another movie which they'll be making in the future. A Phineas and Ferb balloon would definitely be a good choice here. And if it doesn't happen, then they'll do it for next year's parade. I think there's gonna be a lot of people disagreeing with me on this one, but I have a feeling we're going to get a new Bluey this year. We're definitely gonna get a new Bluey balloon this year. Yep, I think we're gonna get a new version. I know there's gonna be a lot of people disagreeing with me here, but since the Bluey unit has always been growing, especially with the Bluey movie that's coming out next year, I think Bluey's definitely going to have something new for this year's parade, since she didn't have nothing new in last year's parade. But personally, I would love to see Bingo back in the parade, this time as a giant balloon with Bluey. And for Bluey's parents, Chili and Bandit, I would love to see these two on a float to accompany the Bluey and Bingo balloon. I would love to see the whole Bluey family in the parade. If it doesn't happen, then they can do it for next year's parade. I could see the first version of Bluey making a total of 5 or 6 appearances, and then we're gonna get a new version of her and this, hopefully Bingo this time. I really love Bluey, and I never want her to retire. I want her to stay in the parade forever. And finally, we got Steve from Minecraft.
I love
Minecraft will be better as a float instead of a giant balloon, since Minecraft is sponsored by Warner Brothers, and since the Minecraft movie was so popular and was so successful last year, and now they're doing a sequel for next year, I think Minecraft will be a perfect fit as a float for the parade instead of a giant balloon. Imagine a company will be a giant chicken jockey balloon, but I think Minecraft will be better as a float instead. Okay, so next up we're going to my unlikely choices. And so first up is JJ from CoComelon. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that do not like CoComelon, and I get it. But since CoComelon is popular with little kids, especially with the movie that's coming out next year, it's an unlikely choice that if CoComelon does participate in the parade as a giant balloon in the parade. I know if it does happen, then I could see little kids being happy with CoComelon being in the parade, but a lot of teens and adults do not like CoComelon, and I'm doubting that if CoComelon does come back does make an appearance in the
Why?
parade. Next up is Big Bird and Elmo from Sesame Street. Big Bird has been a balloon in the parade before, back in 1988 to 2000. Then Big Bird had a second version from 2001 to 2006. But for Elmo hasn't been in the parade since. Okay, yes, on a float, but not as a giant balloon. I think Elmo would be a balloon this year's parade, since Elmo has been so popular, and since Sesame Street has been having Elmo in your face 24/7 thanks to HBO and Netflix. Elmo's most likely a high choice that if it does happen. But if it does happen, it'll be the first time since 2007 where Abigail
Never mind. Here I am.
parade. I think Elmo as a giant balloon would be a perfect fit for the Sesame Street unit. Next up are the Minions. I'm doubting that the Minions will come back in this year's parade. I really don't think the Minions are going to come back in this year's parade. I think most likely last year was their final appearance. I think they're most likely going to retire the Minions and possibly to make room for a different character to take place. Yeah, I don't think the Minions are going to come back in this year's parade. Next up are the Smurfs. Like the Minions, I also think the Smurfs are not going to come back. It's most likely an unlikely choice. The only thing I could see is Papa Smurf coming back in the parade, but Papa Smurf has already been in the parade before, back in 2012 through 2014, and then they came back again in 2021 and 2022. I'm kind of doubting if the Smurfs does come back. There's just no way the Smurfs are going to come back in this year's Macy's parade. Next up is Kirby. Kirby is another balloon that I would love to see as a balloon in the parade, but I would say not yet for Kirby, because I don't see Kirby in the parade just yet. I could see Kirby being Pac-Man's replacement after 2027, since Kirby is promoting a lot of games and stuff. I think Kirby is a high choice that if he participates in this year's Macy's parade, but I would say not yet for Kirby. Next up is Donald Duck, which I'm also doubting if Donald Duck is gonna come back as a balloon in the parade, since Donald just turned 90 2 years ago. I don't think a Donald balloon will be possible. Like, for Donald's 100th anniversary, we could get a new version of Donald Duck as a balloon in the parade, but I'm doubting if Donald Duck does come back in the parade. Like, there's just no way it's gonna happen. Next up is Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny is another balloon that I'm just doubting if he comes back in the parade. I mean, he already has a balloon back in 1989 through 1992, but I don't think a Bugs Bunny balloon is possible, because Macy's cannot go over the limit like in the old days. It's most likely we could see Bugs Bunny on a float instead of a giant balloon, so I'm also doubting it's also an unlikely choice that if Bugs Bunny does come back in the parade. Next up is Among Us. Another game that I'm also is an unlikely choice that if Among Us does come back in the parade. I mean, it was super popular back in 2020, but that was in the pandemic. But today, Among Us is not that popular nowadays. So there's just no way that Among Us is going to be in the parade this year. Like, there's just no chance if Among Us will be in the parade. Next up is any animation character from Disney Channel. Well, Disney Channel has been really rare to be participating in the parade, since 2005 was her only parade appearance thanks to the JoJo Circus balloon. I really wish that Disney Channel could participate in the parade more often, and to make room for other characters like Star Butterfly and the Owl House characters being in the parade. But it's just an unlikely choice if it's gonna happen or not. And finally, we got Ronald McDonald and Grimace from McDonald's. I really miss Ronald McDonald being in the parade. Like, it felt like something was missing from last year's parade, and Ronald McDonald is one of them. I get it, Ronald McDonald is like a corporate mascot, and people are tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. And for Grimace hasn't had a balloon in the parade. He's most likely hanging out with Ronald McDonald in the big red shoe car. But for Ronald McDonald as a balloon, I think it's time they should take a break with Ronald McDonald as a balloon. Since he's not really that popular in McDonald's nowadays. He's also been becoming more controversial because if you remember back in 2023 and 2024, Ron McDonald is most likely stopping the parade every time when he reaches 6th Avenue. I think they should stop with the giant balloons and try to do something different for McDonald's. I think they should do a float instead of a balloon. Like they can do like the McDonald's land and a McDonald's land float, since they have been promoting that a lot. I think a McDonald's float would be better instead of a giant balloon. If it does happen, if McDonald's is interested to bring McDonald's as a float instead of a giant balloon. Alright, so finally we're going to my most unlikely choices, and I have 5 on this list. And that is Pomni from The Amazing Digital Circus. Yeah, it's no way it's gonna happen. Yeah, there's just no chance that Pomni's gonna be in the parade this year. Especially with the final episode that's coming out next week. And after that, there's not gonna be any more episodes. I really wanted her as a balloon in the parade. Many people really want her as a balloon in the parade, but it's just not happening. It's just not happening. I can't really see Pomni coming as a balloon in the parade, since the show is really popular, but it's just not happening. Next up is Huggy Wuggy and the Smiling Critters from Poppy Playtime / Mob Entertainment. Another couple of characters which it's just not happening. I don't really see Huggy Wuggy coming back in the parade. For the Smiling Critters, even though they are creepy, but they are really cute at the same time. Like, I could see a smiling critter float and a company will be a giant catnap balloon. But I'm just doubting it. There's just no way that the Smiling Critters or Huggy Wuggy or any character from Poppy Playtime will be participating in the Macy's parade. There's just no way. Since it is not appropriate for kids, there's just no way that Poppy Playtime will participate in the parade at all. Next up is Lickin' Loud, another character which it's not gonna happen. I really want Lickin' Loud as a balloon in the parade so bad since it was so popular, but it's not happening. It's just not happening. Not even on his 10th anniversary, and the show was canceled a few months ago. There's just it's just no shot that Lickin' Loud will be a balloon in the parade. Next up is characters from Five Nights at Freddy's, which another one which I am doubting if these characters are going to come back. There's just no way Five Nights at Freddy's will participate in the parade. I get it, they are sponsored by Universal and NBC. If it does happen, they could try to do something like the Stranger Things float, something based off of the Stranger Things float. But I'm just doubting if Five Nights at Freddy's does participate in the parade. There's just no way Five Nights at Freddy's will participate in this year's Macy's parade. And finally, we got characters from My Little Pony. Yeah, most likely there's no shot that My Little Pony will be in the parade this year. I get that My Little Pony was so popular back in the 2010s, but there's just no shot that My Little Pony will be in the parade this year. There's just no way. Alright, so, yep, that's it.
I think I do remember you, Marin.
Yeah. Nowadays, my beloved character is Gilly Creature from the show Mighty Monster Wheelies, because I love how cute she is. Yes, Gilly is a girl. I just wanted to clear up something to the people that think that Gilly is a boy.
Yeah. Also.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah. Huh?
I decided to forgive you, but
All right. Let me. Yeah, real quick. Let me give you my YouTube channel in the private chat.
Okay. Also.
And just a note. I still love Yo Gabba Gabba. Like, Yo Gabba Gabba / Yo Gabba Gabba Land and Mighty Monster Wheelies are tied as my #1 favorite shows as of like now.
Yeah. I'll give you one last chance.
I promise I'll try not to screw up again.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I don't know what it is. It's just that sometimes I tend to sometimes my aim.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, but like, sorry, all right, hang on.
No.
Anyway, speaking of Mighty Monster Wheelies, like I said, my favorite episode of the show has to be this episode called Let's Get Crackin', Season 1, Episode 11, because it centers around Gilly, because Hey, who doesn't love an episode centered around one of your favorite characters?
Yeah. Also, I have something to tell you.
Yeah, what's up?
My new laptop just got delivered.
Oh, congrats. My laptop also looks similar to like that, except it's purple.
Yeah. I saved my money to get a new laptop.
Yeah, speaking of, yeah, like I cannot believe it. Next Monday is my birthday. I'll be like 22.
Oh, well, then, happy early birthday.
Yeah, yeah. For anyone who doesn't remember me, my birthday is July 6th.
Yeah. Also, I just got this pizza box from Little
Mm,
Caesars.
mm,
And I cannot wait to see the new Spider-Man movie.
mm.
I mean, I do love Spider-Man, but one of my favorite actors has got to be Tom Holland.
Mm.
'Cause, he's awesome. You
Um,
know?
as for my favorite actors, I'm gonna say a tie between James Patrick Stewart, who voices Zeg in Blaze the Monster Machines, and Sandra Sod, the actress behind Gilly in Mighty Monster Wheelies.
Yeah. Um. Oh, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. What's this in a private chat? Please don't cause drama.
Yeah,
Alright,
just ignore it. It's not really worth your time.
alright, I'll just ignore the private chat.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, if anyone is wondering, yes, Hoppy Hopscotch is still my favorite smiling critter, and Raby Baby is still my favorite nightmare critter. But I'm gonna be honest, if I were to pick my favorite Chapter 5 character in Poppy Playtime, it would have to be the prototype because I love his design. It's kind of an unpopular opinion, but I like the prototype's face reveal. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I saw the prototype get his full body revealed, I literally could not help but think it looked like Pomni when she was possessed in episode 3 of TADC. Considering the fact both of them are like jesters.
Hey, I found your channel.
Alright.
And I just subbed your channel.
Alright, great. Yeah, like
Yeah,
oh my yeah, I know yeah, like yeah, like the fact that I the fact that like the thing about it is like when I saw your comment on like Sod or something like super Sod, I think his name was.
yeah, it's Super Saw the Irish Pakistani board 2K5.
Yeah, I remember when I remember that one time when I back then I remember him I remember when he did like I think it was like gotcha versions of Zeg and Tootie, but if they were like human, but like I'm not, I it's kind of understandable if Gilly would be hard for him to do considering she's like a sea monster and like sea monsters slash fish like characters can sometimes be a bit tricky.
Yeah.
And I remember
Also,
one yeah, and I oh yeah, speaking of something strange, when I told people about my new beloved character being Gilly, some people thought I was talking about Gil from Bubble Guppies.
what?
I get it, their names are similar, but I'm talking about this character. I'm talking about the character from Mighty Monster Wheelies.
Yeah, I see. So yeah, I went to see Michael the movie. which the Michael movie is so awesome. Yeah,
Mm,
I went to see Michael.
mm.
Yep, I saw it back in May. Yeah, I miss him a lot. Yeah, yes, I'll miss Michael. My favorite songs from Michael Jackson are Thriller, Bad, Beat It, Billie Jean, and The Way You Make Me Feel. These are my favorite Michael Jackson songs.
If I were to pick my favorites, it would be Thriller, Smooth Criminal, Beat It, and let me think. Like, oh god, there's a lot.
I also like Smooth Criminal as well.
Oh yeah, speaking of Smooth Criminal, I used that song in my short for the Invisible Van for Mighty Monster Release.
Yeah, I saw that. And one of my second favorite singer has to be John Lennon. You know, the band member from the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's up, Arturo? Arturo, I'll give you the link to join Stella's live stream. Yeah, let me send you. Oh, I see that, Stella. Um, Also, Marin, I do have Discord.
Yeah, I do too, actually.
Okay, yeah. Oh crap, my battery's about to die. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Mm. I do love Yoshi. Yeah, man. I do love Yoshi, the green dinosaur.
Oh, and yeah, speaking of Mighty Monster Wheelies, coincidentally, Phantom Freeze is my favorite of the two villains. I don't know what it is. There's just something about her. I don't know what it is. Like whether the fact that she's like a ice cream truck based on the Phantom of the Opera, or the fact that her personality kind of reminds me of Crusher from Blaze, and since both of them are kind of narcissistic.
Oh yeah. And speaking of the Phantom of the Opera, I might wear a costume on Halloween. The Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, like granted, while the Phantom of the Opera was a male in in the movie, Phantom Freeze in the show is a girl. Kind of similar to how in and how in the show there's the character called Sunny Dracula. Dracula was originally a male, but Sunny is a non-binary character. And as for Gilly, the creature from the Black Lagoon, which is what she's based off of, the creature from the Black Lagoon, or the Gill Man, was a male, but here Gilly is actually a female.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like I've had people mistaking, I don't know why, but there were some people that would mistake Gilly for a boy for whatever reason. I think it's because like she's like a teal color. I mean, there are some blue characters that are girls, like Tootie from Yo Gabba Gabba, or let me think. Oh yeah, uh, well, technically, this is also teal, but I don't care. But Bitsy and Super Kitties.
That must always a favorite character.
I admit when I was watching Hey Dougie, I used to think Happy was a girl because of the way his voice sounds until I watched a few episodes, and then I realized that Happy's a boy actually.
I see that your costume's gonna be Supergirl, Stella. Yeah. Oh, tell you, Marilyn, that I just finished a 11th grade, and I'm now a senior. I actually like this user. And not gonna lie, I actually love Pack Attack's Wii Sports videos. I watched that since I was a child.
The fact that Mighty Monster Wheelies actually came out on October 14th of 2024, but I didn't really watch it when it first came out because I was more into Yo Gabba Gabba Land back at the time.
Yeah.
But and then like a second season came out on May 5th of 2025, and honestly, I'm kind of glad I'm now enter like March 16th of 2026, and I've discovered this because of some of the stuff of Gilly I've seen on DeviantArt, and I really enjoy this show. It's really good. I'm gonna be honest. I personally prefer it over Gabby's Dollhouse. I mean, yeah, like back then, Gabby's Dollhouse was my favorite Netflix show, but nowadays it's Mighty Monster Wheelies because I love the message that people can be a hero despite a person's appearance.
Yeah. And keep in mind that I'm not gonna be joining people's streams that much because I just finished 11th grade and I'm moving on to 12th grade. Oh, what? MP just left? Oh, Princess Rosarina, your favorite. Oh, Yoshi! That's my favorite character of all time. Oh, a very cool ornament. I'm gonna get that. Yeah, he's riding the motorcycle. Oh! Wow. Alright, Stella. I think it's time for me to go now. See ya.